Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We are back. The Upshift Podcast Season 2 is back. I'm so happy to be back on the quote-unquote set of the podcast. It's weird. It's weird being back face-to-face with you guys. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy and excited for the 2021 season. It's crazy to be back. And by the way, don't worry. The commentary type videos, they will still be coming. Don't you worry. I'm just gonna slow them down a bit for the F1 season because I want to do this. I want to do this as well. So that'll be slowing down a bit. But it's qualifying time. So you know what we'll do? We'll be reviewing the qualifying and talking about the big shocks of qualifying this time around. Let's go to qualifying for the 2021 Bahrain Grand Prix, shall we? Starting from 20th was the man, the myth, the legend himself, who shall not be named. Nikita Mazepin, I'll name him. Nikita Mazepin. He did not do well today. I'll be getting into him just a little bit later. But he struggled and had some very bad moments. But yeah, again, we'll be getting into him later. He's Big Shock 1. Mick Schumacher, the son of legendary Michael Schumacher, the first Schumacher name in about 8 years, I think. 8 years? Yeah, 8 years, I believe. So he lines up 19th. Big Shock 2, Sebastian Vettel, however you want to pronounce it. The Aston Martin. Big Shock 2, P18. Very bad qualifying for him, but we'll get into more depth on why he qualified P18 in a bit. Big Shock number 3, Nicholas Latifi, P17. I'll get into the reasons why I think that's a big shock. But he lines up 17th. The Canadian, P16, another big shock. Big shock number 4. Yeah, big shock number 4. Esteban Ocon, the Frenchman in the Alpine car. Didn't have a great qualifying. P15, George Russell. P14, Raikkonen, another big shock. P13, Tsunoda, big shock for me. Giovinazzi, 12th, big shock. 11th, Sergio Perez, revenge, big shock. Stroll 10th, sorry. Alonso 9th. Sainz 8th. Lando 7th. 6th, Ricciardo. 5th, Gasly. 4th, Leclerc. Big shock. 3rd, Bottas. 2nd, Hamilton. 1st, Verstappen. Big shock. Shall we? So let's start at the bottom. Mazepin. Why am I shocked by the how do I say this? Ineptness of Mazepin. I'm gonna get some hate for that. I knew he would struggle. I've said this on Twitter. I've said this on Instagram. I've said this in past videos that he'll struggle, and basically everyone knew he'll struggle because he's not a good driver. The only reason he's there is because of the money and his influence on F1. Via his dad, Dmitry Mazepin, who definitely sounds like a Marvel villain. But Mazepin didn't do well because he struggled and finished P20. 8 tenths actually. 8 tenths from his teammate Mick Schumacher. This is a big shock to me because I knew he was going to be slow, but not that slow. I knew he was definitely going to be behind Mick because Mick is a very talented driver and is definitely better than him. But I didn't know he would struggle this bad, being 8 tenths behind a teammate. And him spinning basically every single lap, which is not a joke. That's not trying to be me, like, I forgot the word. Exaggerate. I'm not trying to exaggerate it. He literally almost spun every single lap that he was out there. Even on I'm pretty sure he spun on an out lap. How do you do that? How do you spin on an out lap? Like, how is that? The entire point of an out lap is to warm up your tires. I get you're warming up your tires technically, but it's very bad for them, and obviously it's a spin. And then his ineptness of when he spun was shocking. Like, he spun in turn 8, I believe, and then just sat there for a little bit and then started going. No one was on track. No one was doing anything. And he just didn't go. And then he spun again, turn 1, and he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. He just sat there. Everyone passed. I get that. Wait for the cars. Everyone's going on a flying lap. But he just sat there. Everyone passed, and he just was just sitting there in his car. And then he just got off and going. Like, what are you doing? You're a Formula 1 driver now. You can't do that. If it was Formula 2, maybe. But you're in Formula 1 now with the highest pinnacle of motorsport. With the best drivers of all time. Like Alonso and Vettel and Hamilton and Verstappen and Pastor Maldonado. It's just unbelievable. Like, how he just didn't know what he was doing. It was kind of shocking. I almost felt bad for him. I was that close to feeling bad for him, but whatever. Big shock number 2 is obviously Sebastian Vettel getting out in P18. What happened? And I'll tell you what happened. Mazepin happened. When he spun out in turn 1, he basically ruined everyone else's lap, including his teammate, I'm pretty sure. Because he just didn't go. He just didn't go. He didn't do anything. It's frustrating to watch Mazepin, to be honest. I'll be completely honest with you. But the Aston Martin did struggle. I'll give Mazepin just a little bit of slack. The Aston Martin is not a good car. It's not fast. It's not very stable. It seems it's kind of stable. I shouldn't have said not very stable. It just doesn't. It seems slow. And I called this, by the way, in my predictions video. If you watched it, I said that Aston Martin would be a very big disappointment, coming off of their very successful 2020 season as Racing Point. And I don't know what happened. They just, in preseason testing, they looked not in control. They just didn't. They just seemed very slow on the straights. They didn't seem very fast in the exits of corners. It just didn't seem very fast. And that proved it today. Not only with Sebastian Vettel, but also Lance Stroll, which I'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, I just don't think that they'll be on the podium, like I said in my predictions video. And in my predictions video, I ended up saying Aston Martin won't get on the podium, which I believe. And then I later said that Lance would win a race. I don't know why I said that, but I did. So forgive me for that. But yeah, I don't think they'll be on the podium this year. They just have a very slow car. So, but we'll see. Big shock number 3, Nicholas Latifi, P17. Big shock for me because I really thought that he had the pace to get into Q2, because George Russell had the pace to get into Q2, and he showed it by getting into Q2, and he did a very good job. And he looked very, very, very strong, possibly contending for points this week. Nicholas Latifi, I just think that he could do a lot better if he just found the pace in qualifying, because he does have pace on a Sunday. I dare say that he has better pace than George Russell on a Sunday. He just needs to find the balance between qualifying and the race. So I think that he has potential. I think he has potential to be a pretty decent driver. I don't think he'll be world champion. I don't think he's world champion material, but I definitely think that he could be a very decent driver this year. Big shock number 4 this time, and that is Esteban Ocon. And again, guess who it was? Guess whose fault it was? Yep, it was Mazepin. Thank you, Mazepin. Good job. Like a lot of drivers, he got messed up by Nikita Mazepin. Nikita Mazepin's spin in turn 1. He got pretty messed up by that and just didn't do well. In that P15, George Russell, pretty decent. Kind of a shock to me as well, because I really thought that they could have been up in Q3. And obviously, that didn't happen. So P13. P14 is Raikkonen. Again, I really thought that they had the pace to get into Q3, sorry. And They again obviously didn't. But they did both Raikkonen and Giovinazzi. They did really well though. Even if they didn't get into Q3, they did a very, very, very good job. Because last year's car was so bad. It was really bad. It was painful to watch how slow that car was. Yeah. So they'll probably get points, I think, this week. I definitely think they're on the track to get points. P13, Tsunoda. Big shock for me because I really thought that he would actually qualify Gasly today, showing the pace he had in preseason testing day 3? Day 2? Day 3, I believe. Yeah, day 3. Preseason testing day 3. His pace that he showed. I definitely think that he had a very, very good chance in qualifying Gasly. But he said he wasn't comfortable with the car, comfortable with the setup. But I think that he can definitely contend for points this week. Big shock number, I can't count. I'm just going to say big shock. Big shock, Perez. This makes me happy in a way I have never experienced before. And it's not because I hate Perez. I don't hate Perez. Perez is a good driver. And I've said before that he definitely is worthy of that seat. I'm just happy because this definitely shows that Red Bull are completely biased and don't know what they're doing with their second driver. Like, Perez, he could have been out in Q3, and I'm pretty sure he could have outqualified Hamilton. But Red Bull don't know what they're doing. How do you not know what you're doing with your own driver? How is that possible? How do you keep messing up the second driver's qualifying? They did this last year with Albon in Hungary, where Albon literally said, he did one lap, said, guys, that was good, but don't put me in traffic. Next lap, they put him out in traffic. He said, guys, don't put me in traffic. And then the next lap, he goes out and he's in traffic again. And then he's like, why do you guys keep putting me in traffic? And that's the time he got out in Q2. That's the ineptness. I keep saying ineptness, but the ineptness of Red Bull. They just don't know what they're doing. It's weird to see from Red Bull, and it's unnatural. But we'll see their pace tomorrow. I definitely think that Perez really could have been challenging for a podium this week. And in P10, that was Lance Stroll, another big shocker here. Because, again, that shows the pure lack of pace that the Aston has. And they will definitely be struggling this season. Like I said in my preseason predictions video. Because I don't think they'll be good this year. P9 was Alonso. He said he could have had a bit more pace. Sainz in P8, and you know the rest. Like I said before, Leclerc first. Leclerc had an amazing qualifying. I knew he would be fast. I didn't know he'd be that fast. But I knew he was going to be really good this year. The car looked good in preseason testing. The car looked stable. The car looked fast. The car looked actually decent in a straight line, like they didn't in 2020. Because 2019 that was their party piece, straight line speed. And Leclerc said that was one of their worst areas in 2020. So it's good to see them back on top. And then Verstappening, the first Supermax is on pole position for your 2021 Bahrain Grand Prix. And I'm sorry that this is so cringy. Verstappen is on pole. Big shock for me because I really thought that Hamilton would be on pole. Because I just don't know what Mercedes are doing. They just don't have a good car this year, I guess. But I shouldn't say that. I should probably say that they don't have as good of a car as I thought they did. But I definitely think they do have a good car. because I definitely think that could be challenging for wins. And I definitely still think I'm not changing my view. I think that Lewis Hamilton is still going to win the championship. It's just in terms of Red Bull are better at this circuit, for me. And I definitely think that Hamilton could still win this race. So, we'll see. So that's qualifying. That's it. That's all the qualifiers. I do hope you guys enjoy this episode. I hope you guys are happy that we're back. We're back in business, and I hope you guys kind of like the new set. We got a few new props here. I'm probably gonna try to stack them. I've got I've got the Mugello car now. I've got the Albon's Toro Rosso and Lando's helmet, and then everything over there. So I hope you guys like the new set. Quote unquote, it's not a set. It's just my room. I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys are as excited as me, and I hope you guys are excited to come along in the journey of the 2021 season. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the race window. Bye-bye.